Enjoy.
All right. So when I took on this topic about hookup culture, it was more of like a joke. We were like standing here, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna talk about hookup culture because I know stuff about that, right? And I didn't do my outline until yesterday. Not my final outline, my initial outline. And but while I was doing research, scrambling at home on my laptop, I found a lot of information that honestly, personally, kind of brings me to tears. Because the information I'm going to share is not just about people who are older, freakily, grandpa, it's about people that are our age and the way that they think about sex and about relationships and how rushed it can feel, how unprotective and how just kind of selfish even. But I think it's something that we all know a lot about, like people who say like, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time, I like parties and things. Or people who say things like YOLO, you only live once, so these are experiences you should just, get out, just push out as quickly as possible. And I think that the fact that people think this way is really just horrendous. And I also want to talk about how hookup culture can be physically, psychologically, and socially bad for people to partake in. And I think people always want to make this a religious issue. You don't have to believe that Jesus is the Christ to think that relationships should be meaningful. You don't have to believe that Muhammad is the sacred prophet to care about others and think about how they might be affected from, honestly, one of the most important decisions of your entire life. So starting off with the physical aspects of it, society doesn't talk about the negative effects like STDs and STIs. Everybody hears about, oh my God, the girl I was with last night, right? She's nice, she's crazy. But from a study from NIH.gov, 15 to 24-year-old Americans, they represent 25% of sexually active Americans, but they account for 20 million reports of STDs and STIs a year. So what this tells me is that not only are we engaging in these kind of acts, but we're so rushed to do it, and we don't have any information about what this means, what this can do to our bodies, what we're doing to others, and what we're passing on. And I think that this is just a slight. Not only are we not learning about it, but we also don't care. And we don't care about the kind of things that it can do to us. Psychologically, this one's a bit of a harder one because I would say in general, like we don't all have to do research on this, but we can say that women are probably a bit more reserved per se and sexual activities. And hookup culture promises connection where there isn't one. It creates this connection because obviously, because sex is like one of the most intimate things you can do. So when you're going out and you're meeting these people and you don't even know who these people are, right? And it brings them together and it says, well, I'm going to be willing to do this with you, but I'm not going to commit to you in any way. I'm going to take what I want, I'm going to go, because I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. And this is what we're going to do, and it's going to be done and done. And I think this is kind of a stretch, and I didn't do research on this one, this is more like a personal thought. I feel like it's more of a form of manipulation, because it's taking something and not giving anything back. It's telling people, well, it's not really about what you're saying. It's not really just about the sex. It's about what you're not saying. It's saying, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna create this connection, but I'm not at the same time. And it creates distortion. It creates anxiety. It creates this, what word did I use? It just creates a lot of confusion, especially in the future, because when you have children, all right? And it just makes things weird. According to Bucknell Studies, which is like Bucknell University, they confirm that women care more about intimacy, while men care more about sexual access. Now, this is not to say that women care about all the wonderful things in relationships and men only care about sex. But in general, this is what we can see from society. Things like porn and things like illicit websites, you could say, it kind of plays into that. And you can see that from facts, because most of these users, over 75%, these are all males, okay? So, I mean, it's a little difficult to say, but this is like a proven fact. And lastly, I would say socially, that hookup culture damages our social society. Now, this isn't so much big for high schoolers today, but in the 80s and 90s, this was like a big thing where, oh, like being a virgin is uncool and you're kind of ostracized. But nowadays, it's not really that big of a thing. It's more of a college thing where according to, I didn't write down who said this, but students believe that their friends believe that virginity is passé and monogamy is prudish. So what this quote really means is that it's not really just about what individuals do, but what we as a collective think, what we think and what others think. That as you get to the college stage, that you're young and you're career driven. So things like really connected and intimate relationships that go far, they're not really useful. These short kind of here and there relationships, this is where it's at. And I think that's just a slight, and it's not a very good thing to think. So this information sounds terrible, but when you bring it together, it shows that people are left more lonely than ever before. Because maybe before you had to actually go meet these people, like, the 80s, there's enough technology. But through this technology, we say, oh, we're so connected. You can go meet anyone, anywhere, anytime, and it's great. But 50% of Americans report being very lonely. Not only adults, but adolescents. Maybe like older adolescents, sure. According to the American Psychological Association. And because of that, I would think that I know it's the commonplace, I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. But I think that you shouldn't use people even if they let you, because you're taking something and you're just taking and taking and taking. And I think that if we thought about more of what other people might be affected by the things we do, physically, psychologically, and socially, then building meaningful relationships will be more common in our world.
All right, thoughts, comments, questions for him?
Sure.
So